Dr. Ted Duffy moved through the busy halls of Children's Hospital Boston, keeping his eyes down to discourage anyone from stopping him to chat. He didn't want any delays. These things needed to be done quickly, the way you would pull off a Band-Aid. His heart had been heavy since he received Joey Gaither's test results. The last round of chemo hadn't worked, and there was nothing left to try. No magic potion that would save the 12-year-old, who had become so much more than a patient to Ted in the 4 years since they had discovered the tumor in Joey's fibula. He had known, of course. Before the test results arrived via email that morning, Ted had known he wasn't going to save Joey. But God, how he had wanted to save this special kid who had so many plans, so many friends, so much to live for. They were all special, but a few managed to work their way past his determination to protect his heart from the never-ending catastrophe that surrounded him. Yes, there were a few he loved, and Joey was one of them. Ted ran a weary hand through his thick blonde hair and took a deep breath to steel himself for what he had to do. John and Melinda Gaither were huddled together outside their son's room. Melinda wept into John's shirt, and he held his wife with tenderness that should have been used up by now. Ted had seen many a marriage self-destruct in the midst of a child's critical illness, and was relieved to realize the Gaithers' union wouldn't be one of them. Melinda looked up and saw Ted approaching them. "Dr. Duff," she gasped. "Joey's so bad today. What's going on?"
"Let's go to the lounge," Ted said.
Melinda exchanged glances with her husband. They had been doing this too long to miss the signs. Ted led them to the lounge, which was thankfully empty, and reached for Melinda's hand. She dissolved into tears. "It's bad, isn't it?"
"I'm sorry."
John dropped his face into his hands.
"If there was anything else, we know, Doc."
John wiped his face and reached for his wife's hand.
"We knew this last round of chemo was a long shot, but we were hoping for a miracle." "So was I."
"How long do we have with him?" Melinda asked, her pretty face ravaged by grief and years of worry.
"His kidneys have failed, so not long."
The chemo had been aggressive, but rather than arresting the cancer, it had damaged Joey's already weakened organs beyond repair. Melinda sobbed quietly.
"Do you mind if I spend a few minutes with him?"
Ted asked.
"Of course not,"
John said. Ted stood up. "Ted," Melinda said, "thank you for all you did."
"I just wish it could have been more."
Joey's room was filled with signed photos of his heroes, the Boston Red Sox. The Make-A-Wish Foundation had granted the boy's fondest desire to meet the team's all-star catcher, who had made Joey a part of the Red Sox family, even going so far as to allow him in the dugout during a few games the summer before. Yesterday, the halls of the hospital had buzzed with the news that the catcher, shortstop, and ace pitcher had been by to visit Joey. The child was so shrunken into the big hospital bed, his baldness concealed by a Red Sox hat. Ted reached for Joey's hand. He had ordered oxygen and morphine the night before. All they could do now was make him comfortable for whatever time he had left. Ted found it hard to reconcile the tiny body in the bed with the bright, dark-haired child he had once been, before he'd lost a leg and his childhood to cancer.